Before I was born as a human, when they asked me if I was interested in trying it, I had my reservations. I was a little concerned about what it would be like to forget my fundamental oneness with all things. I thought, isn't that going to be a little awkward? And then there was this whole business of the toes. I thought, how am I going to be able to take myself seriously with all those toes on the end of my feet? You're welcome. But really, it was the whole mother situation that gave me pause. I thought, this doesn't sound like a good idea. I'm going to be born out of one being, screaming as she shoves me out of her pussy, and I'm nearly going to tear her in half in the process. And then I'm going to need all of my physical needs to be met by her. And not only that, but also my emotional needs. And she's going to resent the ways that I limit her life, but also love me more than anything she's ever loved before. And I'm going to idolize her, but deep down fear that one day I may become her. She's going to work too much, and drink too much, and smoke too much, and then one day, and neither of us know when or how, she's going to die. And I thought, isn't that a recipe for disaster? But I still wanted to try it, being human. Because there's something about the human experience that is so specific. And I really wanted to feel what it would feel like to get really, really specific. My mother, my mother, my mother. What can I even say about my mother? It's always about the mother in the end, isn't it? I remember the first time I perceived the true incompatibility between me and my mother. We were dining in at the Chinese restaurant where we normally only got takeout, and so I had a chance to fully absorb the placemats. And printed on the placemat was the Chinese zodiac, and I soon discovered that my mother was born in the year of the dog, and I was born in the year of the dragon. And underneath all the personality descriptions and the lucky numbers, in tiny letters it said, the dog is incompatible with the dragon, and the dragon is incompatible with the dog. And I thought, I knew it. And then I thought, how can they make this information available to children? How many other mother-daughter relationships were transformed irreversibly by this information? So this next song is for my mother. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. You are so and I want you to live forever. But it didn't feel right. In the face of my mother's eventual death, I just couldn't perform that version of the song. So I wrote another version of the song for my mother. And in this version, I paired all of her most annoying mannerisms with all of the most precious moments in my life that I still want her there for me. But I was afraid that she would come to the concert and be offended. So I wrote another version. And in this version, the sound of the music is my mother. And when it plays, only then I can see her clearly. But it was a lie. So I wrote another version. And this one was a random list of all the words and images that come to mind when I think of my mother. But it was absolute trash. So I wrote another version. Just kidding. In the end, I wasn't able to write a song that was worthy of my mother's mortality. And I realized that I had failed. Failure. Oh, and the failure felt, it felt kind of spicy, but also flat and very, very specific, very human. Excuse me. Talking about maternal incompatibilities always makes me rather hungry.